All right, let's get going with the Thursday evening edition of Weather for Weather Geeks here on the 28th of January, 2016. We got a lot to talk about, so let's dive right into the details. We have some precipitation on the radar as I'm recording this at 7:15 p.m., but the leading edge of this mostly not reaching the ground. The air is still pretty dry down here in the lower levels of the atmosphere, so this is a little bit of voodoo across parts of east central Ohio this evening. This is a little more legitimate out to the west, but you'll notice, the radar presentation on this is not super impressive at this hour. So I think what you're going to get over the next couple of hours through at least mid-evening is a little bit of precipitation that might even be in the form of a few raindrops. It's not going to cause any problems in the near term. Now, as the colder air comes in tonight and some lake enhancement gets involved, that could certainly be a little bit of a different story. This is all part of an Alberta Clipper system, which is cruising up through parts of Ontario and Quebec, dragging a cold front back here. Oops, it's actually a cold front, not a warm front. But you get the idea. Changes are coming after a high of 42 this afternoon. We busted today. I mean, we had a high of 35 in the forecast, but we were not counting on several hours of sunshine. I mean, full sunshine. So a pretty bad bust for us temperature-wise today, and that's part of the reason why some of this is liquid precipitation pushing in this evening. The lower levels of the atmosphere really warmed up much more than expected this evening. All right, we've got the snow color palette on the Futurecast here, so again, keep in mind that some of this may be something other than snow for a while, but we're going to transition all to just snow showers as we go through the overnight. Here we are at 10:40, close to 11. Some snow showers pushing through. Might be a little lull then, and then the lake effect is going to start to kick in as we go deeper into the overnight. And it could still be kind of active tomorrow morning. And, with lake effect, as usual, the snow belts will do the best out of this. But even down in parts of our viewing area, we're going to get a little bit of snow, certainly, over the next 12 hours or so. Show you a few of our model plumes here. This is in Mercer. The modeling all kind of congealed around an inch to maybe an inch and a half in Mercer. You can see where all the lines kind of come together kind of in this zone through here, and that's inch and a half. So that's Mercer. We'll cruise down to Salem, where all the lines are under an inch, and that jives with our forecast. Again, farther north you are, the better chance you have of seeing more than an inch worth of snow. And up in Warren, they barely, a couple of models anyway, the NAM and the GFS get up to about an inch, while the RPM and the Euro are around a half an inch in the Warren area. So, all that being said, here's our official snow forecast. Up in the snow belts, we could see 2 to 4, Geauga County over through Ashtabula County, and perhaps even the far, far northern reaches of Trumbull and Mercer counties could see up to 3 inches or so. This includes places such as Mespo and maybe heading over to Greenville. That should about do it, though. Down towards Hermitage and Sharon and Mercer and maybe to Grove City, you might see an inch to inch and a half. Same thing up towards Cortland, Farmington. But once you're down towards Warren, Niles, Girard, Mahoning County, Lawrence County, and certainly Columbiana County, a lot of places aren't going to see more than an inch out of this. It'll generally be under a half of an inch. Now, with the warm weather we had today, even if we get a couple of squalls overnight, the main roads should be mostly okay. But you're going to see maybe some slick spots on sidewalks and parking lots and secondary roads, side streets, residential areas. It could be slick in some spots later on tonight into tomorrow morning. So here's Futurecast over the next couple of days. The flurries and snow showers wind down by about midday tomorrow. It'll be a blustery and cold day tomorrow. Temperatures basically going nowhere. We're going to hold in the 20s. Wind chills probably holding in the teens with a gusty wind, especially morning and midday. The wind will diminish later on. The wind's going to pick back up on Saturday, but this time it's going to be a mild wind. So after a cold start, warm front lifts through, and this mild air is going to come east, and we're going to get into the lower 40s on Saturday. Overall, not a bad day. I think Sunday overall is pretty good as well. We've stopped things here at 10 a.m. Notice this front is not picking up any moisture just yet. I think as we get into the afternoon, there'll be some showers that try to break out, but a lot of it's going to be to our west during the daylight hours. Better chance to get wet coming Sunday evening into the overnight Sunday night with this initial cold front coming our way. Pretty weak front at that. Take a look at the air masses here as we go through time. Certainly turning colder over the next 24 hours as a chunk of Arctic air pivots south. It'll be well below zero up in Canada. We'll be, again, no higher than the 20s tomorrow. But then look at Saturday, lower 40s, even some 50s and 60s to our southwest. And I'll fast forward to about midweek here. Look at these temperatures shown on the model. This is Tuesday night, heading into Wednesday morning. Wee hours of the morning, it could be 60 degrees in parts of southeast Ohio. This is right ahead of the cold front, and this is when we'll probably see some rain, and we might even hear thunder here and there overnight Tuesday night heading into Wednesday morning, and then the cold air rushes back in, and this is a pattern change that's going to last at least a handful of days, where it's going to be back to typical winter weather, maybe even a little bit below average for a time. Talking about that storm that's going to kind of change the pattern, this isn't it. This is the first cold front that comes through Sunday night. A little bit of a lull then, and then here comes the pretty, blockbuster of a low-pressure system down to 993 millibars on the GFS here. In Illinois, Tuesday evening. Look at all the snow it's producing on the northern edges. And this Tuesday evening, this could be a severe weather outbreak. Parts of the Tennessee Valley, the Mississippi Valley, the lower Ohio Valley. You could have tornadic activity, severe weather, hail, damaging winds. And I mentioned the chance for thunder here. I don't think severe weather is likely here, but in the wee hours of Wednesday morning, and maybe even in the daylight hours Wednesday morning, there might be some thunder in parts of eastern Ohio and western PA along our cold front. The front will wrap through, and we will certainly turn colder at the end of the week with flurries. No big storms on the horizon behind that midweek system. Not a big snow producer for us, but they'll do well out in the Midwest. There's going to be a pretty big band of 6 to 12, maybe even 14 inches in some parts of the Plain States and up into the upper Midwest with that storm. And here's the severe weather outlook from the Storm Prediction Center covering Tuesday and Tuesday night. It's pretty rare for on day 6 for them to have a hatched area like this. That means that there's a very good likelihood of severe weather when on day 6 they've got an area outlined. And this comes all the way up to the Ohio River. So an unusual, kind of a spring-like system, the kind of system we see more often in March and April, tracking through the middle of the country and into the east for the first couple of days of February. So again, it's going to be a busy week. We still don't have any big snowstorms, though, heading our way. We're running way below average for the season, about 20 inches below average as far as snow this season. We're going to make up for that somewhat in February, but it's not going to come in the first week of the month. Thanks for watching Weather for Weather Geeks. I'll see you tonight on 21 News at 11. Be sure and check out Jess's forecast tomorrow morning, and Weather Geeks will return Friday evening. We'll get that online by about 7:30, 8 o'clock.